Bum, bum, da 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 da, bum, bum, da. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to the Roomies Digest. My name's Christine, and if you clicked on this video, you know that we are gonna be doing a really fun reading vlog today. I literally, in present time, am a little jet lagged because I have flown to the East Coast to surprise my mom for her 60th birthday. Yes, I did. One thing about me, I really love surprises. I like planning them. I really like pranking people. And my mom completely doesn't expect this because when I was here for Christmas, I had a rough time with like my flights because Southwest was going through that whole entire like cancellation thing. So like I almost ended up driving a car back to California just to get back to my house. So I really laid it on thick because I've been planning this surprise party for months, and I really laid it on thick that I was like so over traveling. Like I don't want to travel anymore. Like this is totally ridiculous. I cannot believe that my flights got canceled, kind of a thing. So I've laid it on super thick, and I'm pretty sure she doesn't know that I'm coming home. Okay, but my mom's also really smart. Like if she whiffs even like a little scent of a surprise, she'll figure it out like that. Obviously she's a Capricorn. They're pretty quick, if I do say so myself. So I've had to be very meticulous with the planning, very quiet with it. Like I haven't even told the whole entire family the whole gist of what's going on for the party. I've just kind of been like, show up at this time on Saturday. Anyway, it is currently Friday, and yesterday is when I traveled in, and I'm currently at my cousin's house. And while I was on the plane, I started reading for my Kindle Unlimited reading vlog. So far, I've gotten 1.5 books done, which I'm actually gonna have the check-in for after this intro clip. I did want to go ahead and just talk to you guys about the books that I'm going to be considering reading for this vlog so that you guys kind of have a menu of what my options are. Okay, so a lot of the Kindle books that I was considering for this vlog have been like recommendations from my friends. I am a Kindle reader, but basically how I read books, or like how I pretty much experience life, is I go by recommendations from people that I trust. So like when I watch BookTube, I watch my friends that I really trust, you know what I mean? Or like when I try a new recipe, I try it because I've seen a friend of mine like eat it, love it, and I trust that. So these are the books that I have picked out. I did ask Instagram though for some recommendations. I think I'm gonna do those recommendations in another video because there were a lot of them. But the ones that I'm gonna do for this vlog that I'm considering, first of all, this one's a recommendation by Catherine from Catherine Zofre. That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. That one basically just follows a young woman named Cinnamon who saves this man named, I think his name is Saffron. Yeah, I think his name is Saffron. Isn't that like a cook thing? Like a spice, saffron. She saves him from like some situation, and they have to go on a quest, and they fall in love in the quest. Low stakes fantasy. It's giving legends and lattes. That's the vibe that I'm getting. This one, actually, I have a couple from Jess from Books Past Bedtime. So Jess gives me some of the best recommendations of all time. Like I trusted her first on BookTube. Like that was probably one of the first. I can't say she was the first, 'cause I can't really remember if she was the first, but she was one of the first people that I ever followed on BookTube. One of the first people that I ever really like fell in love with as like a recommendations person. And I'm just so happy that she's my friend because she can give me these good recs. But there's Prince of the Sorrows, which is giving like Cruel Prince, but give it Kindle Unlimited, okay? Because there is a human who has been changeling switched into the Fae realm, and then there's like a Fae prince, and the human wants to stay in the Fae realm, but has to be like sponsored, there we go. He has to be sponsored by somebody in the Fae realm to like vouch for him, right? And so the prince ends up vouching for him as long as he like helps him like crack a curse, or like helps him do something with magic. I'm not really sure. Something about the library, okay? Anyway, it's a male-male romance. They end up falling in love. The other one from Jess, because Jess gave me a bunch from this one author called Keira Andrews, okay? She gave me a bunch. She gave me a couple of athlete romances, and then she gave me a fantasy romance. She was like, you can pick whichever one you want. I obviously picked the fantasy romance because we're gonna go fantasy as long as we can go fantasy, you know what I mean? It's called Wed to the Barbarian. I really don't know much about this one, so what I'm gonna do is just pop up the info right here on the screen. I'm going in blind, but at least you guys can know a little bit about this one. The next one that I have on here is Kennedy Ryan. Okay, Kennedy Ryan. Whoa, this changes everything. Wow. Okay, so last night I did a check-in for this for Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. And I said Kennedy Ryan in the beginning, so you guys are gonna see this in the clip. Just know that it was like really late my time, so I had no idea what I was saying. I was basically drunk, but it is by Kennedy Ryan. I think in it I said Elle Kennedy because I have another book on here by Elle Kennedy. That was my mistake. That was my thing. So anyway, you'll see that in the clip. But basically, Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan, it follows this one woman who dating a basketball star in college, but the night before his like big game, she ends up meeting like another basketball star from the opposing team, and they have like a really like good connection. They have a really just like good back and forth, and she like thought he was gonna be kind of a dick, you know, that kind of a thing. So she didn't give him the time of day, but then she realized like after kind of spending the whole evening with him that she really liked him, even though she was like with this other guy. So this one actually features some domestic abuse, domestic violence, and I talk about that in the vlog clip. So it's giving It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Okay, that's what it's giving, except there's a little more to it, and obviously it's got like athletics in it. So that's the other one. I was gonna do The Deal by Elle Kennedy, but that one's not on Kindle Unlimited. I'm saying that right here. It's not on Kindle Unlimited. So we can't do that one because this is a Kindle Unlimited reading vlog. The other one that I have been super interested in is called Ghost by Evie Mitchell. This one is like a motorcycle gang romance, okay? I just wanna read the description because Evie Mitchell has written those books that have like the really cute like animated covers, but this one I saw and I was like, this looks like the classic Kindle romance cover. And that's what piqued my interest, that and Motorcycle Gang. So I was like, okay, I haven't really read a good motorcycle gang romance, so I'm gonna try this one. But it's called Ghost, and it says, I do my best work in the shadows, trained to be a killer. It's all I've ever known, all I've ever cared to know. I embrace pain and destruction, turning everything I touch into ash. I'm a ghost, no past, no present, no future until Ava. This woman sparks a hunger in me, a dangerous desire. If I don't fight it, I could destroy us both, and the devil knows I'd burn the whole world for just one taste. Well, that gave me absolutely no clue as to what these things are. So funny on Kindle. Like, why do y'all give us these descriptions that give you absolutely like what? We didn't ask for the POV prologue. We asked for what the book was about. All right, so I think it's a motorcycle gang. I think. We'll see. I'm not sure. And then the other one that I got recommended, and I don't remember if it was Lachlan who recommended me this, Manda, or Sarah who recommended me this, or it could have been none of them. Okay, maybe it's just giving those vibes, but it's definitely a dark romance, and it's called Sinners Anonymous. And I believe the premise is there's like an anonymous phone call, like a phone service where you can call in and like talk about your sins or whatever. It's a mafia romance. Ooh. I gotta go to the notes about the book, because if I go to the other thing, it's just gonna give me a POV of what it is. Okay, so Sinners Anonymous is a deliciously dark, enemies to lovers, mafia romance. It can be read as a standalone, but there is a trilogy. You should know that I write dark romance, and my stories, including this one, aren't for the faint of heart. They contain several triggers and are somewhat disturbing, so they aren't suitable for everyone. You won't find Prince Charming or a damsel in distress within these pages, so if that's what floats your boat, I kindly encourage you to move along. Forbidden love, age gap, enemies to lovers, dark mafia romance. All right. Whew. That's heavy. That's so heavy. Anyway, so that's the other one that I'm considering. Sinners Anonymous by Amy Sketcher, I think. Somme. S-O-M-M-E. That's hilarious that I was gonna say Amy. Somme Sketcher. Okay. So anyway, that's it. I've been trying to find a dark mafia romance. Since the other series that I had started, the author is like racist, so I can't continue with that one, obviously. So I've been trying to find another one. Hopefully that one's good. I do have a Mariana Zapata on here, but I don't think I'm gonna get to that one, if I'm being honest. Not this time around, because this is just a weekend of like visiting family, basically. So we'll even see how much I get done this weekend. Obviously I have some time right now, but yeah, that's the vlog. That's the menu. I've obviously already read a book and a half, so we're gonna go into that vlog footage right now. But to kind of tell you guys what's going on with my day and what kind of B-roll you'll be seeing after this. After the check-in, I am gonna be going and doing a couple of errands and things with my cousin because we have to go get decorations. We're gonna go get decorations. We're gonna go get some more food. We have to go and get like these, just like tiny little things that we gotta get done before, you know, tomorrow. But the plan is we're gonna do that, do some prep. We'll go and like surprise my mom at my, I'm literally in a suburban cul-de-sac. Like who is outside? Who is outside? So really quick, almost done, then we're going to the check-in. The way that you can have a really good surprise for anybody is you have to have layers, okay? This is how you prank people really well. This is how you have really good surprises. Anything like that, you have to have layers to it. So for me, for this surprise, I have a 3-layer surprise. One, okay, is I'm sorry, I have to see who's outside. Hold on. Oh. Okay, today is trash day. Layers to a surprise. So the first layer has to be kind of like the fake out, okay? And the fake out is going to be my aunt has invited my mom over to her house tonight for the weekend, and they're having like a dinner. And this is what my mom knows. Like she knows that my aunt is trying to surprise her for her birthday, like her surprise party, right? But the fake out is because like no one's there. It's just gonna be like my aunt, not no one, but like not like the entire family. So it's just my aunt and my cousin and like her kids and husband, obviously. So that's the fake out. They're gonna go and like do that surprise, but then I'm gonna come in 10 minutes after they arrive and be like, hey mom, your package just got delivered. And then when she comes to the door, like I'll be there. So that's the second surprise. That's like the actual surprise. So that's all kind of like part of the first level. The first is just like first and second, because it's really a first fake out and then like an actual surprise. Then the third layer is like the finale, right? Which is there's a party happening on Saturday for my mom with like all the decorations. Almost everybody from her entire side of the family is gonna be here at my cousin's house. And that's gonna be the other surprise because she thinks that we're literally going to my nephew's like soccer games. So we're going to soccer, we're going to another soccer, and then we're coming back home for dinner. So she thinks that that dinner is just like the surprise has already happened on Friday, right? Because the surprise would be like me coming in. So she doesn't think that she's gonna have like a party at all. And it makes sense because like my mom's not a big party person. Like she doesn't like a huge like fuss being made over her, but she does love her family. So like if it's a surprise with her family, she's down for the count, okay? So anyway, that's the plan. That's what's going on. It's gonna be a fun weekend. I'm hoping to get a lot more reading done because we do have like a couple of hours today just to kind of chill. So we are gonna do that. Hopefully I get some stuff done. And that's the end of this really long check-in. So if you guys are here and you've made it this far, go ahead and throw up some party supplies and let me know that you're in it for the long haul, and I will see you guys in the next clip. Oh my gosh, this room is so bright and white. Ow, I was trying to freaking have something not white. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, so I'm in Raleigh. I've landed. The flight went well. It was a fun, great time. I was gonna go to bed. I'm really tired, but I wanted to check in about what I read on the plane because I don't think I can sleep until I talk about this freaking book. So the first book that I read on the plane was the one that was That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. This book is really like what I thought Legends and Lattes was gonna be, if that makes sense. Like it was like a cozy fantasy, like a low stakes fantasy. There was an actual plot, there was a romance, and it was a fun time. Like I literally wanted Legends and Lattes to be like this book. No surprise here, obviously I didn't like Legends and Lattes. I mean, like it wasn't like I hated it, I just didn't, like it was just fine. It was like a 3-star. I was like, what's going on? So anyway, on the plane, I read the entirety of That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. And this one is basically just like, I call it a cozy fantasy, but like they go on an actual journey, like an actual quest. And it's basically just between this young woman named Cinnamon and this like demon that she finds like on the side of the road, and they end up falling in love on the way. And this was just such a fun time. Like it was such a sweet time, very low stakes fantasy, but also like there was like a level of steam here. And I have to give it to my friend Catherine, who recommended me this book because it was super cute. I think I am gonna read the other books in this series, probably not like right now, but it was just a lot of fun. I really liked it, and definitely a good book to start off this vlog because it put me in like a really good mood. I was like, oh my god, what a fun, cute little fantasy that I just read. And so yeah, that was a good time if you're looking for a low stakes, like just cozy, comfy, cozy time with like a little bit of smut. The next book that I started, and this is the book that I have to talk about because I'm just kind of like, what am I reading? So I think I'm almost to the 50% mark of Longshot by Kennedy Ryan. So the thing with Longshot is it is a book that features domestic violence. It is a book about a young woman who is in a relationship with this basketball player, and they're like in college. That's when it starts, the timeline. But one night, like on this big night of this game, or the night before this big game, she meets this other guy in the bar. And at first, at first she thinks that this guy is kind of like, just like all the other guys, you know, just trying to get into her pants, trying to pick her up. But then after talking to him for 5 minutes, she realizes that they actually have like a lot to talk about. They have a lot in common, and she might like him, which is a problem because she has been dating this other basketball player for like a year. So the premise of this book is that, and also the fact that this woman gets into this relationship. And the thing is about this book, the reason why I just don't know if I can even continue with it is because I feel like I am reading It Ends With Us, only like there's more substance to it and it's longer. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think I like books that feature domestic violence. I don't think I like it. And I was talking to Stephanie from Stephanie Bookish because she's recently gotten into romance. And I was like, do not read this book, first of all. Please don't, because it's making me uncomfortable. Like, I guess not uncomfortable, but like, I just don't like it. Like, there's a difference there. You know what I mean? Like, uncomfy, I would just be like, ooh, like I feel weird. But like, I don't feel like that. I just feel mad. Like, I feel angry. And I don't like it. And Stephanie put it in a really good, explained it really well, because she was like, it's probably because when you read this happening to the character, it feels like you're claustrophobic. Like it feels like the character can't go anywhere, so you can't go anywhere, like as the reader. And I'm like, wow, you're an intellectual. You are an intellectual, because that's exactly how I feel. Like I just feel like when it's a story about like domestic violence, or like even like stories with like torture, you know, and like dark romances or like stuff like that, where like the character can't get out of the situation, it's so frustrating because like you as the reader can see these like red flags and like warning signs, but like obviously the character has to go through it for like the story, supposedly. That's my rant about Longshot. I'm gonna put it down because at this point I don't want to really continue. I wish that there was more happening with like her and the other love interest, like her actual love interest going on with that. But right now, like we've had, and this will be spoilers. So if you guys, I'm gonna do it really quick. It won't be long. But like if you don't want spoilers for this book, just skip to this part. But we've already had the pregnancy trope. We have the domestic violence happening. And the guy is crazy. He's got like a gun. He's acting like Den of Vipers. Like he's got a gun. He's shoving it in her mouth. He's like, I'm gonna kill you. You know, all this stuff. And I'm just like, I'm not with it. Like I just don't want to read that. Like I just don't care. I mean, like I care about her, but like I don't care to continue. You know what I mean? Like I'm not having a bad time with the writing, and I think that's the only reason why I've kept reading, because if the writing was bad on top of all this content, I would just be like, no, but I don't like a domestic violence trope. Like, that's really the bottom line. Like, if I could skip all this and just get to the part where she's like with the other guy, I would read that part of the book. But if I continue like this, somebody help me, give me guidance. Can somebody please tell me if I should continue? I don't know if I will for this vlog. Maybe I'll continue it at a later time. Anyway, okay, so that's my check-in. I know it was crazy long, but I just had to talk about this because wow, I was just like so mad. I'm so mad. Ugh, it's so frustrating. I guess that's why people read books, you know, to experience things. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna go to bed now. I'm exhausted, and I'll check in with you guys later, tomorrow, in a day, I don't know. See ya. I'm literally hiding under a blanket in a car. Cool. Hiding in the back of my cousin's minivan. All right, here we go. I feel like a psycho. Okay, I'm gonna run to the front door. All right, here we go.
Oh wow, this is a huge box. Oh hey Lee! Lee! This box is for you. Perfect. It's humongous. Look at this box, it's humongous!
Surprise! Were you surprised?
Yes. Crazy, poor little birthday, dear Lily. Happy birthday to you.
I'm living. Everything goes my way. Everything goes my way. That was so cringe, but these are for our purposes. Not only are they warheads, but they're extreme sour. I can't wait. Literally Monique's face. You know?
She's got a new hypoallergenic way of blowing out.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's so funny.
Faster,
You don't want to spit on it. Okay guys, so here's the sitch. I owe you a check-in, an update. I owe you something for this vlog. Okay, so I think the last thing that I told you was that I had put the long shot off for now and I was going to be starting the deal. I have since finished the deal. And had a really good time. So I think now I have the option to either go with this one book called Sinners Anonymous, which sounds like a really crazy time, or I can do this fantasy romance that Jess from Books Past Bedtime talked to me about. So I was gonna read I think The Prince of Sorrows. I was gonna read that one for this vlog, but Jess, I was texting her and she was like, literally, I'm moving, so I can't buddy read it with you. And I was like, okay, well, I really want to buddy read it with you. So I think the other option I have is Wed to a Barbarian, which is a male fantasy romance. I don't know much more about that, except maybe he's getting wed to a barbarian. But Jess said that this was a really, really cute book, like one of her faves. So I'm thinking that I might just read that instead of Sinners Anonymous, because Sinners Anonymous seems like a wild, crazy time. And I think I just need to I think I want to read Wed to the Barbarian and then try Long Shot again and finish up this vlog. So we'll see. We'll see. And then I'll go over all my ratings in the end. But anyway, so that's the tea. That's my check-in for now. If you guys are wondering, my mom's surprise birthday, part of this, it went really well. I think the first surprise I had to jump out and surprise her at my cousin's house, or my aunt's house. My nephew accidentally, but not accidentally, he walked in before me, and he was like, Christine is not here. And my mom was like, what? Why is that the first thing that you said? So I think that may have tipped her off a little bit to the first surprise, but the actual surprise party where the rest of our family were literally here jumping out being surprised. She had no idea. So that went really well. I had a really good time. I've had a very jam-packed, busy weekend. So tomorrow I'm going home. I'll have plenty of time to read, and that's why I think I'm going to be finishing Wed to the Barbarian and trying Long Shot again. I'll check in and we'll see. But I won't be in this plain white room anymore, because as I found out on Sprints on Steph's channel, Sid was like, why do you look like you're in a jail cell or say an asylum? Like you're just sitting in a white room. What's going on? With a green screen or something behind me. So anyway, I will be out of this room. We won't have crazy lighting anymore, and I will let you guys know what else is going on in this vlog. Okay, that's it. That's my check-in. I'm really tired. See you guys later. Love you. Bye. All right. I have made it back in one piece without a hitch. Nothing crazy happened. I had no delayed flights, no canceled flights. I am now back on California soil and happy to be here. If you hear a crunching, Sherman is eating in my room. So that's what's going on there. We're currently getting our heating and AC updated, which is a whole story in and of itself. But long story short, we had heat and air in all of our rooms, but we didn't have them in common areas. So the living room, the bathrooms, the kitchen. It's a very weird setup, but that's kind of what happens when you have these old apartments in California. They didn't used to have heating and air. It was very just moderate temperatures. But we're getting all of that updated. So all of Sherman's things are in my room, because I don't want him to be out and about while people are going in and out of the door. Because, I don't want to say he would run away, but he might get scared and bolt. Okay. The fact of the matter. Other than that, the only other thing I want to check in on is when I was on the plane, I read Wed to the Barbarian, and my girl Jess, Miss Jessica, she did not lead me astray. This book was so good. So this one basically just follows a male romance in a fantasy world where one of them is kind of I would say more of a bookish type person. He's like considered a weakling of sorts because he doesn't like go out and kill things. You know, he's an intellectual. And then the other one, who is from like an opposing like nation, like an opposing like country, he's more of like the barbarian type, right? He's very tall, he's got a lot of muscles, and he's smart in his own way, but like, does he read? No. Okay. Very hot, you know, whatever. And in this world, apparently, like, to have a mate, you want your mate to be as strong as possible. So already the first guy, he's not doing well. You know what I mean? Like, no one's super interested in him just because, you know, he's kind of considered a weakling, like to be a weakling. So that's embarrassing in and of itself. The book is actually really, really good. It's definitely like a dislike to love situation. Definitely steamy, a steamy time. Not as steamy as Moth, which is the other book that Jess has recommended me before, but definitely a good time in this one. And I liked this one because it's, I don't want to say it's an isolated wintry setting, but like the setting is like he takes his husband back to a like, you know, snowy situation, and it's a good time. I like that setting. It was good. I also thought that the kind of like plot twist or like the overarching plot was really, really good in this one. And I will say probably the only thing that I don't want to say upset, but that I didn't know was that this was not a standalone. This is a series. So I have to immediately read the second one, and I will be doing that because I had such a good time with this one. But yeah, it was just a cute time. I really liked the dynamic between the two main characters in this one, and it just like made me feel good. I was like, oh my god. And the third act breakup made sense. Like the third act, whatever, like issue, the third act, like throwdown, whatever you want to call it, it made sense. And also like the ending of the book makes sense. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't just like a second one to like be a second one. Like there's a second one because it makes sense. I'm trying not to give any spoilers, okay? So that's why I'm very vaguely being like, it all makes sense. Read the book. Anyway, excellent choice. I'm so glad that I read that one. That just gave me a really good rec. So that's the check-in for that. I had a really good time. Highly recommend for my male romance lovers, my fantasy lovers. I mean, I just had a good time. So anywho, the next one and probably the last one that I'm going to do for this vlog, and it's either going to be a make it or break it situation, okay? Because I told you guys that I had started Long Shot and I wasn't sure if I wanted to continue. And at the time, I think I said I was at 50%. I went back and checked. I was actually only at 38%. Thought process here is this. I think I'm going to try Long Shot again. I'm going to pick it up because I don't want to extend this vlog for too much longer. But I think I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to see how it is until the 50%, like for real, okay? Because from what I can tell, like the last part I read, there was a literal on-page abusive situation happening. And I don't like that kind of stuff. But, okay? Joanna from our Discord has told me that it's worth it. She said, keep going. So I said, all right, I'm going to put my trust in you, Joanna. I'm going to put my trust in you. And we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to pick up Long Shot, get to the 50. I'll check in with you guys if I keep going, because I really do want to like this book. The fact that it literally is It Ends With Us, it's like bothering me. Oh, it's bothering me so much. So anyway, I'm going to do that. That's my plan. And then I'll check in with you guys. And I'll give you my final ratings for all the books that I read in this vlog. We'll do a little outro. We'll do a little wrap up. Anyway. All right, that's the tea. Other than that, like, nothing really is happening. You know, me and Sherm, we're just chilling. He has such a wonderful profile. Wow. Wow, that's a cute cat. Oh my gosh. Anyway, okay, cool. So that's it. That's the check-in. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, I truly need to know why you guys love this book. I'm gonna look it up. I need to know why you guys are obsessed with Long Shot, because I'm at 55% and I'm not buying it. Okay? I have so far been through like 3 sexual assaults, many beatings, graphic, not like the worst graphic I've ever read. Obviously, I mean, I've read Whispers in the Dark, but like graphic enough where like you see the picture. No one's willing to help her, and so far there's been like zero romance. There's been zero romance. There's been one kind of spicy scene with her like potential lover, but he's so like in his own world, he doesn't even understand what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, he knows that this guy that she's with is a bad guy, but in no way, shape, or form does he think that the guy would ever be abusive towards her. I get it, you know? Everybody's young. They've never experienced this before. They don't know the signs. But me, as an old lady, I just don't like it. I can't handle it. I'm like, I don't like reading these scenes. So I need to know why you guys do like it. Like, why at 55% have we seen so little romance in this book? I mean, I get it. You know, her and August, they like have this special connection. You know, they talked for hours on that first night. But like, does that really mean anything at the end of the day? Does that really mean anything? I don't know. I may either need this to turn into a thriller where freaking Caleb gets his ass kicked at the end, or gets unalived, or I'm gonna need them to run away. I'm gonna need them to run away. Does it make sense? 5 star, 5 star, 4 star, 5 star. One review says the whole first half of this book was horrible. Horrible to get through. But after 50%, it starts getting better. You a liar. You're a liar. Because I'm at 55 and it has not gotten better. Let's see. Here's a 3 star. This book was so much heavier than I anticipated. The first 60% was really hard for me to read and enjoy, but I had to have closure with the story and did enjoy the last third of this book. I want to say this wasn't the trope for me, but I've enjoyed very similar tropes, okay? The domestic violence, in other words, so I don't know. I'm looking forward to the second book though. That sounds exactly like how I feel. That sounds exactly like how I feel. How is everybody else giving this a 5 stars? Y'all must just not have any hearts around here because I'm hurting. I'm hurting. Yeah, 2.5. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. All right, well, that's where I'm at right now. I'm gonna, I guess, continue, but I really had to put it down and be like, yo, this book is horrible. And it's sad because Kennedy Ryan's writing is really good. Very good. But I'm just not jiving with the content. Oh, excuse me. I'm not jiving with the content. All right, I'll continue. See where that goes. But if they don't have any sort of connection or anything, her and August, Iris and August, like, I need y'all to do more. I need y'all to do better. And I need her to get out of this situation because it's just pissing me off the more that I read about it. All right, that's my update. Okay, so I've officially finished Long Shot. And, yeah, I mean, it was fine. I'm just gonna go through my ratings for these books and we'll kind of talk about the ending and like how I felt about them. I am doing the call pile method this year for rating. So basically what that means is I judge the books based on their characters, the atmosphere, the writing style, plot, intrigue, logic / relationships, and the enjoyment of the actual book as a whole. I do mine a little bit differently because I do weigh characters and plot heavier than anything else in the call pile method, just because those two things can make or break a book for me. Like, if you have really good characters and really good plot, that weighs heavier to me than like atmosphere. Obviously, this is a pretty subjective rating style. It's not perfect, but that's pretty much how ratings go. It's basically how you feel about the book, right? So anyway, we're gonna go into my call pile ratings for each of these books and we'll kind of talk about them a little bit. The star ratings do, at first when you're doing the call pile method, it is like 0 out of 10. So they do have to be converted into star ratings based on like a number scale, which I'll try and like throw up and you guys can kind of see what that is. But the original video created by G from Book Roast, I will link that down below if you guys are interested in rating your books this way this year. Anyway, enough talking, let's get down to it. Okay, so that time I got drunk and saved a demon, I ended up rating that one with a 7.77. The strongest part of that book, I think, was the plot. I ended up giving it like a 9 out of 10. I really liked the plot in this one. I thought it was really interesting, and especially for such like a low stakes, chill fantasy, like I just thought that it worked really well with that book. So the 7.7 goes into a 4-star rating. So that is what I'm going to be rating that book, which feels really good to me. That feels solid. Like, I feel like that's exactly how I felt about that book. The next book is Wedge the Barbarian, which I ended up with an 8.5 out of 10. This one's strongest category was intrigue. And right after intrigue, it was plot and enjoyment of the book. So like the intrigue basically is just like, did you want to keep picking up this book? Like, did it keep you intrigued the whole entire time? Like, do you still think about this book like after you finished it? That kind of a thing. That's how I'm doing intrigue. That's how I feel about it. And that was a 10. That was a 10 for this book, because every time I would read this book, I'd read it for a little bit and then I would put it down. I'd be like, what's going on with those two guys? Like, I feel like I need to read it and catch up. And there is a second book after this first one that I am immediately going to be going into, like, after we finish this vlog. So that 8.5 results into a 4.5 stars, which feels really good to me. That feels very true. Very, like a very, very good and strong rating. The next book, of course, you guys know, was Long Shot. This one, I had no idea how I was gonna rate this one because, I mean, the numbers were not looking good. I think the strongest thing about this book is the writing style, and that I gave a 9 out of 10. I really, really liked Kennedy Ryan's writing style. Unfortunately, almost every other category was like 4s, 5s, and 2s. I think the second strongest one was the intrigue, and that was just because everyone was telling me to keep reading this book, but I don't even think that like the intrigue was that strong for me. Like, I think I wanted to finish it to see what everybody else was talking about, and unfortunately it did not pay off for me in the end. I found the characters really lacking. The atmosphere was like all right, but like it's supposed to be a basketball centered romance, and there was like hardly any basketball in it. Like, I guess I'm nitpicking, I'm not sure. But the plot also felt weak to me. I felt like I had read it before with It Ends With Us, and I'm not sure like which one came out first, so that might not even be fair. But I don't know, something about that domestic abuse, I just don't think that that's my plot like preference. Like, I just don't think that really is good for me. So that's probably why I don't like it. And then as far as like logic and relationships go, the logic of the story, like, it makes sense what happened, but when I tell y'all that I guessed the ending of this book, like, I knew what the final act thing was gonna be, and it just stressed me out because I was like, how could you be so stupid and make these dumb decisions? Which I guess is why I rated the characters down, because I was like, Iris, you are really not smart, are you? Like, you're a survivor and you're strong, and like, I love that for you. But like, why would you go to a house by yourself with your child when you know a psychopath is out here trying to literally kill you? Like, what's wrong with you, you dumb idiot? I found that really lacking. And then enjoyment, it was it was the lowest part of this book. I gave it a 2. I gave it a 2 out of 10. That ended up being a 5.3 out of 10, which you guys can probably guess it was a 3.5 stars. I think that's about right. I think that's about right, because initially, like, before I did the call pile for it, I was like, yeah, this was literally mediocre. I think the reason, like, the fact of the matter that I finished it gives it that, like, extra 0.5 of a point. You know what I mean? So 3.5 feels good to me. That feels like a good rating. I think going forward, domestic abuse, probably I should stay away from it so I can not rate the book badly. You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say about Long Shot before we move on to like the next and final one. But I get it, you know, August is a sweet cinnamon roll, but like, I don't know, I was just missing it with their relationship. Like, I just didn't see the connection, really. Like, I don't even think this was really a romance. I think it was really a survivor story, which is how It Ends With Us is, really. Like, it's really just about the woman surviving this horrible thing that happened to her, which is fine. Like, I'm not saying that we shouldn't read books like that. Like, I think it's great to know the signs and be able to like know if that ever happens to you, if you're ever put in that situation, like what you can do to kind of get out of it. But like, for me, I'm like, don't tell me this is a romance, because it's not a romance, and I'm gonna stick by that. So yeah, the last thing I wanted to talk about was I actually ended up finishing 3 Swedish Mountain Men while I was on the plane. And I was thinking about this because I was like, I felt like I read so many books over the weekend, because I ended up reading The Deal as well by Elle Kennedy. And y'all know, I think I might have mentioned this, I might have cut it, I'm not sure, but like, I thought it was a Kindle book and it wasn't. It's like not a Kindle book, but I still read it like over the weekend in between like my like break from Long Shot and then Wed to the Barbarian. So I did end up like reading The Deal. I really liked it. I didn't calculate the call pile for it, but I guess I could do that right now and we can talk about it. But also, the other book that I finished on the plane was Three Swedish Mountain Men, which we were reading for Classic Literature Book Club. That one I really, really liked. I never really thought that I would be a reverse harem girly. I'm not even still sure that I am. Like, I think for me, a good reverse harem is where everybody is together. It's not just like one girl who only gets with each guy separately. You know what I mean? Like, it would be fun for me if everybody was in like a polyamorous relationship. So that's what I think I'm learning I prefer with reverse harem stories. I haven't found one that I really, really love yet, though I do love Credence. Maybe that's because that was like my first one that I read. Anyway, for this one, the highest points for the call pile were actually in the atmosphere setting, the writing, and in the enjoyment of it. So, you know, that snowy setting up in the Swedish mountains, like them going to like the little Swedish town and like going on dates and stuff. That was really, really fun for me. I really liked that, especially in like such a short book like this. The writing style I also really enjoyed. It definitely kept me hooked. It kept me engaged for most of the time that I was reading this book. It's only when I like put the book down that I kind of forgot about it. So that's why intrigue is not like as high as like the writing, because the writing is truly like what kept me in with this book. And then enjoyment, of course, like it was a fun time. Like it was a fun time. I gave it an 8 out of 10. So it was really fun. I ended up giving this one a straight 7 out of 10, which is a 4 stars. That feels good to me. Feels like what I would rate Three Swedish Mountain Men. So those are my ratings. Those are all the Kindle Unlimited books that I read for this reading vlog. If I had to give The Deal a rating, let me think about this really quick, because let me just do some calculations really quick while the sun's going down and we don't have any light. Let's see here. Is this the book everybody's obsessed with? Like, are people obsessed with The Deal? Because I just did the numbers and this has like a really high score. No tens on this one, but let's calculate and see what it is. Wow, the call method literally works so well. Okay, so this one ended up being an 8.11, which transfers over to a 4.5 stars, which is how I felt about that book. I really liked The Deal. I thought it was super cute. And you know, the issues that I had with it were really like the plots and like the plot points, because there are like some very like convenient kind of like plot points, but like it's not enough for me to be like, wow, I really hate this book. But it did end up giving it like a 7 out of 10 for that. And then the characters were like a little boo-boo. So it's interesting that it's a 4.5 when like the two most important things to me and the things that I count double are like the lowest scores out of 10 on the call pile for this one. So yeah, I mean, everything else I pretty much loved about the book. The highest part is again like the intrigue, the enjoyment, the writing style, and the atmosphere. Like all those things got a 9. So tell me something I don't know. A 4.5 feels good for The Deal. I liked that book a lot. That was really good. Anyway, not part of the Kindle reading vlog, but I did end up enjoying that one and do recommend. But I will say, look for trigger warnings in The Deal. Look for them obviously in Long Shot. And there are some trigger warnings for Three Swedish Mountain Men. That would be like cyber triggers, like cyber internet triggers, I would say. So look for that kind of stuff if you guys are interested in those things. But those are my ratings for these books. And overall, I feel like I had a really great reading time. I think Long Shot definitely threw me off, like I've been saying. But overall, I had a really, really good time. I found a new fave that I'm gonna move on to the second book. And yeah, what can I say in all? Like, my friends, they have impeccable taste. So yeah, that's it. That's pretty much all I can say, all I can think of. If you guys have any really great Kindle recs and you want to toss them down below, please let me know, because I really love doing these Kindle Unlimited reading vlogs, and just kind of doing like a weekend of reading all the books that you guys recommend. I do have some from Instagram that I do want to do a vlog for later on. But if you guys have like a burning recommendation, please leave it down below so I can add it to my list. us. And other than that, that's pretty much it. I'm done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like this video if you liked it. Comment, of course, down below if you feel like it. You can subscribe if you want to keep up with me and Monique whenever we post, and hit that notification bell if you don't want to miss another video from us. And until our next one, I'll see you guys later. Bye.